Hello and welcome to another Demon 212 Wii Ware review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Robox, which if you've never played it before, think Metroid crossed with Limbo. It's a bit of an action-adventure type thing. It's also an excellent game, at least I think so, and it's one that I think is very underrated because at the moment, considering it's been out for a couple of weeks, I've not heard anyone talk about it, mention it or anything, and it's a damn shame because as far as I'm concerned, this really is a good game. So let's cut into some gameplay. So, as I was saying, it's basically like Metroid meets Limbo, which if you've never played a Metroid game or Limbo, then you're obviously not going to have a clue. But the whole point is, you're a robot who crash lands and, well, you have to find all your missing parts and that because you've been broken down and that, you had the crap kicked out, you're going through orbit, so you've lost the use of all your powers, and that's where it's like Metroid, and the whole point is you have to explore and go through the game, finding the powers that you've lost, and again, that's where it's still like Metroid, but where it's like Limbo is the fact that while this is still an open world game and you can explore areas over and over again and you can go back to areas and that with new powers so you can find new items and things, it's done in the way that Limbo is, because with Limbo, every time you get a new puzzle, you get a checkpoint and you have to work out that puzzle, you have to work out what to do, how to do it, etc. And then you go on to the next one and that's also a checkpoint and you work out that puzzle, etc. And that's pretty much how the game is done. Every section you meet has a solution and you have to find the right way to do it. And obviously, more than one section in the game will have more than one solution, and it's a case of finding the ones that you can do now with your current tech. And it's just really good. It's done in such a way that it's really engrossing and you just keep wanting to play. The only thing really that takes you out of the experience is the fact that the music repeats on a loop non-stop and it's just incredibly annoying. It's one of those, it's the type of game that I will end up playing with an iPod at some point because I'll eventually get sick of the music, but I don't think I'll ever get sick of the gameplay, especially because the gameplay changes. You can then go to collect bits of rock over the game. There's 60 pieces of amber and there's 20 gears, and when you collect the amber you get little puzzles with these creature type things, and the game changes the control mechanics because before it's side on Wiimote, so proper Mario style controls and that, jump, shoot and that, but when it's like this it's pointer stuff and it actually works well. Not all of the motion controls and pointer stuff they've added in the game works well. Some of the stuff I really do think that it might as well have just had a dual analog controller and it would have worked fine with just pushing another button for actions. But this bit here does work well because the whole point is you're no longer playing as the robot, you're playing as little creatures inside the robot. So it makes sense that the controls are going to be completely different. And you've basically just got to work out how to solve puzzles with the little creatures, and when you solve a puzzle then you'll get a new ability, and it's just really cool. And the creatures have their own unique abilities themselves, like the rock guy can smash things, the little green thing can jump really high, the yellow thing can, you know, go through electricity, and it's just stuff like that. And it's one of those, you can push select at any time to swap between the two of them, so if you can't work out a puzzle and you want to give it a bit of time, then you can always go back to it, and it's just a nice little feature like that. But this section here is basically one of the motion control parts I can show you, and it's actually the first motion control part, because what with the fact that it's like a Metroid game, I don't particularly want to spoil anything by showing off puzzles and that and showing how to beat it, and then all of a sudden I've ruined someone's game that they've just spent 1,000 points on. But those are the types of things that you do the motion controls with. You move it left and right, and it's one of those, as I say, it really does feel like it could have just been done with buttons left and right on the D-pad and just things like that. So the game isn't perfect basically because, as I say, it forces things on you that you might not want to do, but I'll tell you one thing, for a WiiWare game it goes a long way of doing so, and it's the first WiiWare game since Blaster Master, to be fair, that I've actually liked, and I don't just like it, as I say, I love it. It's the type of thing that I find myself playing all the time. I'll find myself playing it until I've beaten it 100%, because there's, as I say, the 60 bits of amber and the gears and that I collect, and the whole point is there's 3 different environments to go over, and every now and then, as I say, you'll get a checkpoint to lead you onto the new puzzle section, but there's also save points, and you can't save at a checkpoint, you can only save at a save point. So in other words, don't just go through the game thinking, oh, I found a checkpoint, I can switch it off now, because it's not like that at all. So you find yourself the save point, and the save points are actually also teleporters, which is why you can then traverse over the areas and you can just like go back to bits that you've done before, as I say, with the new powers, and it's just one of those games that if you like Metroid style games and if you like puzzle style games, then this game should tick absolutely every single box. As I say, the only two things that I'm personally disappointed with is the music and the controls, and it's one of those, the controls work well for what they are. It's just, again, I would have preferred being able to have a choice between motion controls or actual button controls, but they're not exactly unresponsive or awful or anything, so they don't ruin the game. So even if you're like myself and you're a die-hard hater of motion controls, then it's the type of thing that you should be able to put up with them. At least I know I could. Graphically, as you might be able to notice, the game looks really good. I'm quite impressed with the visuals of it, the artwork and everything like that. It's all 2D stuff with different planes and that, and it all works really well. It's all highly detailed and it looks fantastic. And considering this is just yet again another small little dev that no one's really heard of, as I say, I personally think this puts a lot of full-on Wii disc games to shame from big name developers. I really do think that if you've never really played a game like this before, then for 1,000 points you can't go wrong with starting off here, because I've thoroughly enjoyed every moment of it. So there we go then, that's been the review. I hope you've enjoyed it, or at least found it helpful. You might have noticed I didn't score the game. Well, that's because it's a matter of personal opinion, and yours may very well differ from my own. I'm just here to show you a bit about the game. If you like it or not, well, that's up to you. If you don't like it, or you do like it, feel free to comment. Also, if I haven't answered any of your questions that you may have had, I might have forgot something, or it might just be something obscure. Again, feel free to comment, ask, always willing to help out. Otherwise, if you don't like commenting on YouTube, head over to www.vc-forums.com, where you can chat with me and a bunch of other lads who love the VC, the Wii Ware, and hell, even a lot of other systems. We cater to pretty much everything. You can just go there, have a chat about a game, ask about some games, etc. So until next time, this has been Demon212, signing off.